This is what we got to work against. We got to fight against. We got to do battle, go to combat against this in ourselves. If we're not going to combat against ourselves in this way, we will be usurped by the enemy. Lust. You must do battle against your lust, fellas. The first one and the seventh one, they kind of go together in our world because people have pride about their addiction to lust. Isn't that crazy? The first and the seventh one are sort of wrapped up in one another. We have a whole demographic of people who are so proud of their lust that they march in parades down the street every June. You so proud of who you want to have sex with, and you got a pride about it. You got to march about it. So you got lust, we got gluttony. Think about gluttony in terms of not just food, but drink. Paul says that all things are lawful for me in moderation. Think about those that binge drink. You ever binge drink? You never thought about that as gluttony, right? You could have a glass of wine from time to time, but are you drinking to get drunk several times a week? Or even if it's just on holidays, that's gluttonous. Think about how many obese people are walking around these days. You know what I think is, and I'm not trying to judge. Let me put it this way. I'm not trying to condemn. I can't say I don't judge. I judge. Lord, forgive me. I be judging. I see fat pastors, and I'm like, damn, you a glutton, bruh. Now, it's not your fatness that's the sin. Okay, so maybe you big boned it or whatever the black girls like to say. But you didn't get there by genetics. You've been acting real gluttonous. Listen, I'm a sinner too. I'm just saying. I point this out. Lust is not as easy to see. If people wore lust on their bodies the same way gluttons wore it under their t-shirts and fat, that there wouldn't be so many prideful lusty people out there. But imagine every girl you met, there was a number on her forehead for how many men she had been to bed with. You would think twice. That's why lust is kind of like, it's a quiet pride. Greed, is that synonymous with selfishness, right? Wanting more for me. Sloth, laziness. Think about all the people who think they should be paid just for living. After the pandemic, they started getting $600 a week and they just lay around, right? It's a sin because it destroys. It destroys you if you're a lazy sloth. Wrath, I think I would say that's synonymous with anger, right? Not forgiving, unforgiveness. Envy, wanting something or a state of life that isn't yours. And today I would say this one is huge and it's sort of undercover, but you be watching people on Instagram thinking, why does he have that? I want that. I know that without bragging, I know there's a lot of people that were envious of me, especially when I was popular on YouTube when I first started out and I was making those fitness videos with my shirt off and I had all kinds of charisma, and I had my beautiful face up close to the camera. Now I'm fat and old with gray hairs and shit. But back then, there was a lot of envious people. It took me a long time to understand that that's what was happening. Envy. And still a lot of envious people out there for different reasons, right? Envious people love to see you fall, especially when you rising high. Ha! Look at that guy. It was only a matter of time. Well, it usually is, right? Because pride happens before the fall. A lot of times we become, proud people. I know I did. I let pride get the best of me. And then finally, pride. Pride was the first sin. It's the primary sin. It's the cardinal sin, man. And so it's so funny that we got people who hold it up as a virtue these days.